Did you know when cigarettes first came out that people smoked carelessly because they had no idea of the health effects it had on their bodies? Abby Rogers, a reporter for the Business Insider, who won the Webby Awards of 2009, published an article online on December 5th of 2011. Now, according to this article, smoking is the third leading cause of deaths in America today. Now, let's shift our attention to cell phones. Everybody has them and everybody uses them. Now, cell phones can be a great thing to have around this day and age. Not only for calls, you can use them for many other things like navigation, setting up appointments, etc. Now, even though they're a great tool to have, they're still fairly new to us and we don't know exactly everything about them and the possible health risks it has on us. Alex Fitzpatrick, a business reporter for the Mashables of New York headquarters, published an article on July 18th of 2012. Now, according to this article, 75% of people that live in this world use cell phones. That's a pretty big number. And many of them actually don't know anything about cell phones, the possible risk it has on us. I myself have been using a cell phone for roughly 10 years now, and I had no idea that cell phones gave off any sort of radiation or had possible risk on our health. One day, I was actually flipping through the internet and I stumbled across an article about cell phone radiation, and I was really intrigued, so I began to study and look into it. So throughout the course of 3-4 weeks now, I've been putting my focus and concentration into finding out what exactly this was. So I'm here today to tell you three things about cell phone radiation. First, I want to tell you what exactly the cell phone radiation is. Next, I want to tell you the health effects it has on our bodies. And finally, I want to tell you some simple steps of avoiding these radiations from your bodies. To begin, let's talk about what exactly cell phone radiation is. Cell phone radiation is a form of non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation. Now you may be thinking to yourself, electromagnetic what? Well, it's actually really simple. Let me explain to you. There are two types of radiations. You have your ionizing radiation and your non-ionizing radiation. Cell phones give off non-ionizing radiations. Now, non-ionizing radiations are considered to be on the safer end of the spectrum as far as radiations. So, next, I want to tell you about the health effects it has on our bodies. The National Cancer Institute, which is one of the 11 agencies that make up the Human Departments of Health and Human Services, wrote an article online on June 18th of 2012. Now, according to this article, they've done many exams and tests with the potential health effects of non-ionizing radiations. And as of now, there are no consistent evidence that non-ionizing radiation has an increased chance to cause cancer to our bodies. With this said, don't let that get your guard down, because a recent study showed that when people use cell phones for roughly 50 minutes a day, that it heats up the side of the brain, the same side of the brain you used your cell phone with, and is different from the other side that you didn't use a cell phone with. Now lastly, let's talk about simple ways that you can avoid these radiations. Number one, now I personally don't do this. When I get a new phone, I don't read through all the instructions and fine prints. I personally just get on and play with it and get familiar with it myself. But all manufacturers have to put fine print inside their instructions stating not to hold the phone directly to your ear. Rather, they recommend that you hold the phone when talking about 0.9 to 1 inches away from your ear. Now, for me, that's a little uncomfortable. It's a little just too much to ask for, I guess, to avoid the radiation. So if that's not, your preference, there's another solution, which is speakerphone, my personal favorite. Now, I always use speakerphone, but many of you might not like using speakerphone because you don't want other people to hear conversations. So if you don't want to use speakerphone, the third solution is using headphones, or possibly Bluetooth. You plug it into your phone with your phone jack, and you simply just talk. Privacy, and you can hear it. You don't have to hold the phone up, hands free. So it's another great alternative to avoiding the radiation that cell phones give off. Now, understanding the possible risk the cell phones have and the ways to avoid these can make a huge difference in yourself and just your safety and health. It's always good to know the ins and outs of your daily routines. I've informed you of 3 things: what exactly cell phone radiation is, the effects it has on your body, and simple ways to avoid it. I hope you have a firm understanding of these concepts now. Just like Sir Francis Bacon said, knowledge is power.